Therefore, you need to understand the point of view from our side, the freedom fighters. Number one, we are the ones who removed the killers of Benedicto Kiwanuka. That should be clear. Because those who are killing these people who were there, they were the colonial soldiers, Idi Amin and the group, and who removed them? The freedom fighters, the NRM. That's number one. So because we removed these killers, that's how we are able to have all this, what is happening, to remember, to do this, to discuss on how to move forward. Number two, the freedom fighters brought democracy. You remember, between 1962 and 1980, there were no elections in Uganda. That's 18 years. No election, not even bad elections. In 1980, we had elections. There were bad elections, but there were some attempted elections. So, number one, we removed the killers by force, not just by talk. Number two, brought democracy. Number three, dismantled the sectarian system which had paralyzed Uganda and Africa for all those centuries, because we had sectarianism before the Europeans came. The tribes, these tribal chiefs, with their egocentrism. You find a little king, he's a lion. A lion of whom are you eating? Why don't you eat the imperialists who are disturbing us? You are only eating local people. So we have to dismantle that sectarianism, because the CJ touched on it. I will talk about it later. If it was not for sectarianism, Uganda would never have had the problems we had. They were caused by the sectarian actors. So that's number three. Dismantle, or at least challenge, the sectarianism of religion and the tribes. Number four, repair the economy. See, we are talking of money. Money from where? You cannot have money unless the economy is repaired. You know what was happening here in the economy. You know, there was no money for the government. Why? Because all the enterprises had closed down. They had collapsed. So we had to repair the economy, to bring back to allow the enterprises to come back so that they can do business, and then they create jobs and so produce goods and services, but also pay taxes so that the government has got money. So it's good that today, this man, my manager, Dr. Mona, my PPS, did not rush me. That's why I was able to sit here for a long time and listen carefully. So number four, repair the economy. And that's how we are able to talk of more budget, more this, because the economy has been somehow repaired, and it has expanded in spite of the bigger population. Because remember, the population of Uganda was 14 million. In 1986, it is now 43 million. So in spite of the population growing so much, but the economy is much bigger now than it was in 1986. Then number 5, ensure peace. Ensure that there is no war in Uganda, that there are people can be able to build their lives, but also deal with these other issues, organizational issues, judiciary, politics, what have you, church. Everybody is able to do something now. And then, number 6, support financially, because this is the aspect you are talking about now. Support financially the government structures, army, judiciary, all this. So this is the context I would like you to remember. Now, this brings me to something we have not really done, because we have not had time. We talk about it, but in a passing way. To engage you, the lawyers who are trained in the Western system, to give you our viewpoint. I sometimes mention it, but I never concentrate on it. So when you talk, so this would be number 7 now. I'm now going to pay more attention to it, because I have never really had time to concentrate on it. When you call me, I mention it and I go away. Now this is the independence of the judiciary. Independence from whom? You cannot be independent of the Ugandan people. So I would want some amendment to this idea. Maybe you could talk of independence within a convergence of principles of justice. Because the problem I see, I talk about sometimes, but then we don't concentrate on it. The head of the new lawyer president was talking of the refusal of some groups to implement court decisions. This is very serious. It is not, I would want us to really get time, not now. This is just an occasion of celebrating, of commemorating, but we should get time and discussing it deeply. Part of the problem why they don't implement the court decision is actually they don't agree. There is lack of convergence on what is justice between, in some of the cases, between the courts and sometimes the population and even the political side, Like for instance, we have got a problem of land issues, especially in Uganda. And you know that problem of the Milo land was created by the British here in Uganda. So you have got 5,000 people in a parish, and the magistrate says, no, all of you must vacate, because he has, we don't know what he has agreed with the landlord. No, the RD says, no, they can't leave. This is what you are talking about. So what is the problem here? Who is right and who is wrong? That's why, really, I went back to my old political party, the DP. Unfortunately, I found there a comrade, a young comrade called Mao. And I said, you, comrade, come and help me with this, because you're a successor of Kiwanuka, but you're also a lawyer. And I heard him talking well, because he was talking of the whole government, What is the position, what is the historical position of the Ugandan reformers, because we are reformers. We, the freedom fighters, and you, the lawyers. How should we handle the issue of Mairo and the tenants, Bebanja and all these people? How should they be handled? If you come just artificially and you say, oh, court has decided that 5,000 people leave the parish, we say rubbish, they can't go. RDC comes in and says. So it's not such a simple issue. So therefore, because if you say independence, this is really abuse of power. Because you are using that cover of independence to do big injustice to the population, which can cause even very serious security problems. We had the problem of the bail, We had that problem of bail. So therefore, it is correct that the judiciary should be independent, for sure, but it should be independent within a convergent national system. Having agreed on these big issues, how do we handle the issue of the historical distortions of, for instance, land in some of these areas? How about murder? Because I have told you many times when I come here, the tribal views about murder. For the tribes, it is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. If you don't do that, you are going to cause problems to. That's how you get the skepticism of the population. So therefore, on this one, I would want, of course you can say, it is in your area, you are the legislator, you are the president, you have got a political party, the political party has been winning elections all this time, you legislate the way you want us to do things, and I totally agree. So there I plead, I would not say plead guilty for neglect of duty, but I will plead with mitigation, that I was busy with the other 6, busy with the killers, busy with the repair of the economy, busy and so on and so forth. But now that we keep talking about this, I'm really going to pay more attention to from the judicial side, from the legislative side. From the legislative side, and Chairman Mao here will help me to concentrate the new Uganda, what should be the doctrine of accountability on this one, that one, that one, that one. But of course, there is still some resistance also from your side, because this issue of bail, for instance, those who were in the CA, including the Chief Justice, he was in the CA, in the Constituent Assembly, they provided that a judge may give bail. They didn't say you must, but some of them just give even when you can see that it's not wise. It's very dangerous, very provocative. That's how now you get mob justice, where the people take the law in their own hands and they kill the suspects because they think the judiciary will not punish them. But I think now, I should do my side now to really sit down and say, on this issue, this is our doctrine of justice. For instance, there are big problems which I imagine where the children are mistreating parents in the villages. Because we had our traditional justice, in which the parents were sort of dictatorial. But now, you have the children using this unclear system, behaving badly, and disturbing parents. And that one, we need to, it's not, I don't think it is clearly addressed. But I therefore agree that on our side, on the legislative side, we need to come and bring out any issue which we think is crucial to bring satisfaction, and we legislate on it, and we bring it to you in the form of law. Now, coming to Benedicto Kiwanuka, I'm very glad the CJ talked about it. You cannot talk of Benedicto Kiwanuka just as a lawyer, because he started off, first of all, Benedicto Kiwanuka was a soldier. I don't know whether you know that. He was a soldier in the Second World War. That's what I heard. He was in the Second World War as a soldier. When the war ended, he was one of the few Ugandans who went to South Africa, I think, South Africa, or somewhere, Fort Hare or something, and studied law. I don't know whether he studied in Britain or South Africa, but he studied law. And when he came, he got involved in the politics. And as the CJ said, he was very principled for sure, because he stood against the tribal chauvinism of Mengo and said, no, we cannot keep on pushing tribal agendas. We must have a national position. And although DP itself was still, because I was a member of that DP myself, so actually Kiwanuka was my senior colleague, because I was already very active, and I worked with him actually. I met him and we were working together. Although DP still had its own sectarian side, being mainly a Catholic party, but at least on the national unity, they took a correct position. And we should salute him for that, even before you talk about the legal side. The legal side, I have got some criticism, because these were our colleagues. By that time, I had finished university, and we were engaged already. But on the national issues, he definitely took a correct stand. And if UPC or Bote had not been opportunistic and gone to please Mengo, Uganda would never have had political problems. You would have had a national consensus of telling Mengo, stop that nonsense of sectarianism. And Uganda would never have had all this chaos we had. So this chaos was caused partly by the double-facedness of UPC, saying we shall give Mengo what is impossible, and then later on they found they can't do it, and then they had to use now force, when they could have simply joined with DP and said, no, what you are talking about is not correct. So definitely, there, Kiwanuka made a good stand. Now, when Amin came in, we, the political actors, who were there had a difference. Because I had been in DP myself, although at that time I was working, I had been recruited, I was working in a president's office. When Amin came in, there was a division among the political class. Some of the people like Benedicto Kiwanuka, some of the DPs like Benedicto Kiwanuka, and some of the others like the Nabudere, Rugumayo, Wanume Kibedi, who were part of our, because we were also like a leftist group. Although I had been in DP, by this time we had evolved ideologically, and we were like a leftist group, a radical group. So we had differences among us. First of all, with our DP